I'm Tasha Murray with the Invasive Species Council of Metro Vancouver, and today I'm showing you how to do a restoration planting. So after you've undertaken control activities to manage invasive species, often a second and necessary step is to maybe reseed or plant native vegetation in its place. So I've picked a spot here in the forest, and I've picked a tree that I'm going to plant in its place. And I've found a suitable spot, and I'm going to dig a hole that's approximately the same size as the pot that the plant is that I'm going to put in place. So first I might have to clear off some debris, and then I'm going to get started shoveling. So the dirt that I shoveled out of the hole, I've just kept in a pile here because we're going to need that in a moment. But now comes the time where I'm going to put my plant into the ground. So here is a plant that I've purchased, and first I need to get it out of the pot because of course the plastic pot doesn't belong in the ground. So depending how old the plant is, it might have been in the pot for some time, so you might have to really wiggle it around to try and remove the plant and the root ball from the container. You may have to bang it a little bit. You may have to try and put your hands kind of around the sides to try and force it out. This one's going to come out pretty easily, and I'm just going to grab this tree by the trunk. It's pretty hard to hurt your plant, so you can usually just pull them right out, being really careful not to damage any of the roots or any part of the plant. And then I'm simply going to put this root ball into the hole that I dug. Sometimes if your plant has been in the pot for quite some time, it might be root bound with roots really heavily around the outside of the potted material, and so you might have to break that up a little bit, even use your shovel to kind of create some cuts so that the roots are able to expand into the new hole. So now that my plant is in the ground, I'm going to use some of that dirt from the pile to replace in the hole so that we create a real solid environment through which the plant can grow. So after I've replaced all the dirt in the hole, I'm going to use my foot and just very gently kind of stomp around, make sure everything is really secure and the plant is happy in the new environment. So our plant is in the ground, and of course I'm going to recycle the pot that it came in. And depending on the time of year when you're doing your restoration project, you may not have to worry about watering or tending to it later in the year. Ideally, large restoration projects take place in the fall, the time of year when the plants are going to get lots of water after they're in the ground. Unlike if you were doing a planting in your own property, where you could do it anytime because you can water and follow up on a weekly basis. Some of those large projects where you're planting lots of plants with lots of people at one time, you just don't have capacity to come back and do maintenance on the plants, or you might not have access to water and other resources that you might need to maintain them. And so timing is a really key factor when you're planning these large restoration events. Here's an example of a restoration site. The crew had previously removed Himalayan blackberry. You can actually see some of the blackberry canes poking through the soil and starting to come back, so that's something that needs to be monitored. But this is a great example of where the crew has used mulch over top of the planting site to help keep down the weeds and to help with retention of water and to just generally help with the improve the health of the plants. They've also left some woody debris on site, and they've contoured the site in a more natural way that would be representative of what would exist in the native forest that they're restoring.
For more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to learn more, follow us on social media and check out our website at www.iscmv.ca.